Gunboat Victoria. During the 1880s, Britain's Australian colony began to build up a sizable navy for local defence as Australia had no suitable construction facilities. The new editions were built in Britain. Victoria was a steel-hulled vessel armed with a single 254mm or 10-inch gun mounted forward behind a raised bulwark. The entire vessel had to be turned in order to train the gun on its target. Engines developed 800 horsepower and coal supply was 91 tons. Although relatively small vessels, such as the Victoria, proved a useful deterrent against raiding cruisers, which could not afford to run the risk of being damaged so far from their home ports, and whose activities were hampered by a lack of coaling facilities. Settling these up was a major drain on the resources of the European naval powers. Victoria was sold in 1896. HMVS Victoria was a gunboat that served with the Victorian Naval Forces on Western Australia before being sold into private use. Design. This class was built to a Type D flat-iron gunboat designed and built Armstrong Michael and Company. So I'm wondering if they are the forerunners of Armstrong Whitworth aircraft, because I believe before they built aircraft they actually built howitzers for the British. So it could be the same company. Operational history. In late February 1884, Victoria was in Malta on her delivery voyage to Australia with the gunboat Albert and a torpedo boat when the news of General Charles Gordon's death at Khartoum reached the British Empire. The three ships were immediately offered for service in the Sudan campaign. That was definitely the campaign where they don't like it up 'em. The offer was accepted, oh hell, and under the smaller, less seaworthy torpedo boat was sent ahead. By the time the two larger gunboats reached their destination on the 19th of March, the conflict had moved too far inland for warships to be of any assistance. The vessels all departed 3 days later to continue their voyage to the colony. They arrived in Melbourne on the 26th of June after travelling via Aden, Colombo, and the Dutch East Indies. Due to the depression of the 1890s, Victoria was decommissioned in 1893 and sold. She was subsequently purchased by the Western Australian government in 1896 and was purchased again in 1902 by the Sydney-based tug company Fenwicks, who used her as a towing vessel. She was then scrapped in 1920 after 18 years of service in Sydney Harbour. Country of origin, Australia, but built in Britain. Type, gunboat. Launch date, 1884. Crew, 20. Displacement, 530 tons. Dimensions, 140 feet times 27 feet times 11 feet. Endurance, unknown. Main armament, one 10-inch gun. Power plant, twin screws, compound engines. And performance, surprisingly, 12 knots.